Welcome back to High Heels Happy Hour.
Welcome.
I'm Christina.
And I'm still Ingrid.
And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're excited. Our one of our latest episodes gotten a lot of views on YouTube. I'm not sure how it happened, but
and if you don't know, you gotta check it out on YouTube.
So if you're here on YouTube, you get the full unedited version with all the facial expressions. And if you are listening, you're welcome as well. Maybe you just don't want all the facial expressions, and that's totally cool.
I guess.
But please, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe on whatever channel you're using and share with a friend, right?
Yes, sharing is caring.
That's the way we grow and can keep going. So this is episode 80. Is it 82?
83?
Well, we're in the 80s.
Yes.
And that's pretty cool because I read a statistic that most podcasts don't make it past 5 episodes. Or most podcasts that are started. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
High five.
And we're still having fun. And we're still learning. You do learn a lot by having your own podcast because you need to do research and you need to when you have guests, you do learn a lot. So we always check in because that's important to check in on your friends. So Ingrid, how are you doing?
Good.
That didn't sound very convincing.
School is in full effect and good so far. And nobody's unhappy with classes or teachers. And Christina's hair is a little.
It's a little off today, but that's okay.
That's okay. It's Monday. Is it Monday? I don't even know what day it is.
It's when we record it, it's Monday. Yes,
it's Sunday.
So
we started finally got to work a Google Calendar that I can share
with the family.
Yes.
Okay,
and that's been a little better.
Okay,
because we have Isabella volleyball and 2 soccers, 2 different days, 2 different times, and I think you have the same thing. The girls have practice different days, different times.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Okay. Stick to a schedule. No. So we don't do a Google. We have a physical big calendar, like a what do you call it? Dry erase. That the first thing you see when you enter through our garage.
I've seen that. Yes.
It's and where that actually Bella goes in and writes when all her practices and then matches and all that.
I did it for the season because since Victor travels.
Yeah, no, it's hard when he's not in the house. It's hard to see it.
So
yeah, it's good. It's a lot, but it's good. We're dealing with my mom's health issues, which are challenging and not good. So I'm gonna be going back to Sweden very soon, and maybe we'll just have to do some episodes from when I called in from over there.
When I'll wake up just for you.
Yes. Well, I can stay up late. I can stay up late.
No, I can get up early. No. Well, we'll meet halfway because usually I'll text Christina, and I wonder why she's not answering. She's like, I was sleeping. I was like, oh,
yeah. Oh well,
we'll figure it out.
So, what's your hack?
So, because we've gone back to school and have boys, they forget some stuff at school, and a lot of what I lose are ice packs. So
that surprises me. How do you lose the ice pack?
I've learned
because isn't it in the lunchbox?
Yes, I have.
So how do you lose it?
No, I have learned with boys. I don't ask. So now what I started doing is sponges. If you soak them, put them in the freezer, and then in a Ziploc bag, they stay pretty cold.
Okay.
And then when they bring the lunch bag back, I use the sponge to clean the inside of the lunchbox.
And they don't lose the sponges?
No. I
So
don't know.
I still don't understand why the ice pack comes
And if
out.
they do, I don't get so concerned about losing a knife.
Okay.
But no, I don't.
Okay.
There's some things I just don't ask
Maybe you just
anymore.
need to put a bag of ice.
I used to do that, and they used to
Mhm.
then think it was great to pop that bag.
Okay.
They're boys.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I know.
well.
I pick my battles. What's your hack?
So my hack is something that you thought was hack worthy. I thought it was something everyone knew, but we had a little discussion before recording about you forgot to send money with your freshman in high school for lunch. So I said, but why don't you just doesn't she have a high school account with a debit card? And you looked at me like, huh? So that's my hack. So you can open, I think most bank branches, I would be very surprised if they don't, but you can open a high school account. You can also we just transferred Fig's high school account to a college account. And why they have them, it's because then the rules or regulations are not, they're different from a regular
Okay,
checking.
so if you all are listening to this and you knew about this, then
please comment.
Yes, because I had no idea.
So that way she has a debit card where she can always, and even, they can put it on Apple Pay now, the card. They don't have to physically have the card with them. And since your daughter now has an Apple
I know,
phone, she can do Apple Pay.
Christina said that if I did not get my daughter a phone, she'd get bullied.
Well, if you're a high school student that don't have a phone, I think her friends she's going to be left. I'm not saying bullied. I mean, she's going to be left out on a lot of things.
So I felt really bad.
It's the group text and the snap this and the checking on locations and all that. So yeah.
So I did. I got her a phone. I was so excited.
Yeah, I think, and it's a safety thing too. Then you can get.
And that's where I budged and I got it because I wanted to make sure she was safe. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
And I got her an iPhone, which I have not budged.
Ingrid has not come over to the dark side. And I don't, I gotta admit, I am a complete Apple person. I have the watch, the computer, the phone.
You have everything Apple.
Everything electronic. Yes. Yeah. I have the AirPods. I have, and I heard they're gonna come out with I think Samsung already did. Instead of an Aura ring where you measure your biometrics, Apple is going to come out with one too. And guess what? I will have that ring. Yes, because I do like to. Even though you can track your steps and everything on your watch, which I do like, I don't want to sleep with the watch because I don't think it's comfortable. So for sleep tracking, which we will get into more today, an Aura ring is or a ring is very accurate. So it's also in the
technology
and also look, I don't know if you can see, but you get a very
nice
funny suntan line from your Apple Watch because I use it all the time when I'm out counting my steps, and it's not pretty. Oh well. So today we're doing the resetter. We've done a resetting series, and I think we were talking about life is getting back. We are kind of getting out of our vacation mode and back into real life. And this time of the year, when everything gets a little darker, fall, winter, we're going towards darker times, less sunlight, we tend to be a little tired. Also, after vacation, it's hard to get back into your rhythm, and routine. You just feel tired. I think that's what I hear most from friends and clients, and it's like, oh, I'm so tired. You don't hear that in the middle of vacation. You hear it now after everything's back. So we wanted to talk about ways of powering up, ways of boosting our energy without taking any specific
The
weird,
energy stuff.
yes, no energy monster drinks. Because I think we all know that energetic people are feel more positive, and it's really hard to have a positive mindset when you're super tired.
It's almost impossible. It's weird.
Yeah. And it's funny, today, I'm usually a very energetic person, and my coach, Shay, shout out, she calls me the energized bunny. Today, I am super tired. So it's very interesting that today we're going to talk about energy. So I'm going to take all my own advice. Well, I know it's the first one. I didn't sleep. I went to bed late. So I think that's the... Anyway, so I have, how many? 7
tips.
7. Lucky 7 tips on how to boost your energy. How to power up, charge up for fall. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And all of these build on each other. Oh no, she's yawning. For those of you that are not seeing this on YouTube. Okay,
I'm really
she
ready.
needs this episode. Maybe even more than I do. Yeah. So, number 1.
I am ready.
And this one is, we've talked about many times. Ingrid.
I actually slept
number 1
last
is
night.
Prioritize sleep.
I slept like 8 hours.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yes. So really between 7 and 9 is the golden, what do you call it? The Goldilocks time frame. Less than 7, not good. More than 9, if you sleep too much, you can get really tired from that too. So 7 to 9 has been shown to be the best. And it's great. If you don't know, we talked about the watch and the Oura ring and all that. You track your sleep to see what you're really getting. Because sometimes we think we're getting more. Just because we're in bed doesn't mean we're actually getting the sleep. So 2 different things to think about. The first one is sleep quality. That's something I did track with my watch when I got it, and noticed how many times I was waking up and never really getting into the deep sleep. So tracking your sleep to see what your sleep quality is, because even if you fell asleep, you think you've gotten the 8-9 hours, the quality might have been super poor. So important to know. If you're always feeling tired, you really need to start tracking your sleep to see. So things to improve sleep quality. It's avoid eating 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. So, and well, there's something called the 2-3-2 rule. Something. Sorry, can't remember it exactly. But it's, you should try to cut off food 3 hours before bed, and drinks, water and stuff, 2 hours before bed. So you avoid having to get up in the middle of the night. I do like to drink water all the way till I fall asleep. So I don't really follow
a little
that
difficult when with the children and practicing so late.
I know, but so this is something I'm working on really hard, is trying the food, making sure I, so to speak, close the kitchen for myself earlier, because we do have late eating habits.
Okay.
In our family, and we practice, but the kids can eat later. They're not affected the same way as we are.
Gotcha. Okay.
They sleep at all times.
So I've been trying to have them eat earlier, but when they get back,
they're not hungry. But now Isabella is eating after practice, so that's sometimes 9. But for myself, I'm gonna have to make sure I eat earlier, which won't always work. But 3 hours before bedtime is great. And also, of course, avoiding caffeine and alcohol close to bedtime. So, how late do you take your last cup of coffee?
Right before I go to bed.
You do? Why?
It's warm.
Do you do decaf?
No,
And you're surprised that you don't sleep?
not really now.
You don't know this?
No, it's just soothing. It doesn't.
Well, then you need to start drinking decaf.
Okay.
If
Next
it's the
episode, we'll
taste.
do it. We'll do it. I'll try. Okay.
All right. Yes. Caffeine and sleeping do not go hand in hand. And one should really try to avoid alcohol too, if that's because usually your sleep quality is not as good with alcohol. And then another thing, get on a consistent sleep schedule, meaning go to bed the same time every day and wake up the same time every day. Even if it's the weekend and you can sleep in, try to not make them so drastically different. Wake up and go to bed time. And that way you're more regulating your body's internal clock, trying to keep it according to schedule. And then, so the sleep quality is the first thing to check. The second thing is sleep hygiene, meaning what is your sleep situation? Your bed, your room, everything around where you sleep. So a cooler temperature in a room promotes better sleep. I think we all know that trying to sleep when it's really hot is hard. When you go to Europe, it's really hot. There's no air condition. Sleeping is a little tricky. But now there are also cooling sheets and cooling pads you can put on your bed, which might make it easier. And then making sure your room is really dark. I didn't think I needed that. And again, going to Sweden in the middle of summer where you have 2 hours of darkness in a 24-hour cycle, it is light until 11 p.m. and it gets light again at like 2 a.m.
Huh.
So then you notice how important darkness is. So I started wearing, are you okay?
I think so.
Started wearing eye masks and stuff, which really helped. So yeah, trying to block daylight and also try to block blue light. So experts say you should avoid watching TV right before you go to bed. I'm sorry, but I am one. Me and my husband both love watching TV right before bed. So, but then again, it's not a problem. I sleep really well now. So if I didn't, I would have to add blue glasses, blue blocking glasses, because that blue light from the TV and from your electronics can really disrupt sleep. It makes you more awake. Another way to eliminate that, especially to avoid scrolling on the social, is to leave your phone in another room. Or at least out of reach. So even if you wake up, the first thing is not to check the phone.
I do that for my alarm too.
Yes, but you can, if you have a room close enough, then you really have to get out of bed to turn your alarm off.
Yeah. I do it across the room. Yeah. But
I'm going to do it in the bathroom, I think, because then I can just, it's good too to not have things charging right next to your head, which, yeah. Okay, so that was prioritizing sleep. So what did we learn? No caffeine.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Second big, huge tip for boosting your energy: exercise on a regular basis. Exercise consistently, not just once in a blue moon. Get it on almost like a daily habit, because
it feels good.
It really, and with exercise, is really anything, just get moving. So it could be walking, it could be running, it could be whatever. Cardiovascular health and also mental health. Moving your body helps with both mental health and, of course, lowering of stress. There's something about the visual I learned too from a book on walking. When we walk and run, it's something about how you see things pass you by, that is calming. So
I can see that.
yeah. But I mean, if it's yoga, whatever it is, something that moves your body is super important. And these are really the things exercise wise I'm going to go through is not one or the other. It's really all of the above. So you need to move your body. You also need to lift heavy things. So resistant training. And we've talked about that a lot on this podcast, but it's so important, especially for us women, especially as we age. Not only will it makes us strong, build muscle, but it is also important for our bones, our bone density. So try to resistant train at least twice a week. Lift heavy things at least twice a week. If you've never resistant trained, you start with body weight, then your own body will be enough weight. And then as you progress, you just add more and more weight. So increased muscle mass is great for so many things. It increases your metabolism, so you can eat more the more muscle you have. It is great for the bones, as I said, and not to mention it makes you look better because you get a little firmer and tighter. That's what we all want, right?
Yes.
That toned look. But it really having more muscle also increases your overall levels of energy.
Makes sense.
Yes, you're not just like a
slouchy and fluffy.
Yes,
and wishy.
Exactly. And then something else we learned is posture. So straightening your posture, straighten up, increases energy. And it's easier to have a straighter posture if you have more muscle mass, because you have more muscles to straighten you out.
I get on the boys.
And
they
yeah,
like this.
Yeah. And to hold that. I see that too with a lot of the teenage girls. Very slouchy.
And they walk slouchy.
Yeah. So that's it. It's apparently if you hold your posture for 3 minutes, that really increases your energy. Yes, and it also straightens, because by holding your posture, you are engaging muscles. It's a win-win. All right, that was exercise. Next thing, nutrition. We need to fuel correctly, because just like with the gas in your car, shit in, shit out. Yes,
that's
wrong, especially wrong fuel, nothing out.
Yeah.
You put your diesel in your regular gas, that's not gonna work
at all.
So yeah, but it really is. I want to think that I say that to the kids all the time when they're eating crap. I'm like, shit in, shit out. Yeah, literally. But also the performance you get out of it is going to be pretty crappy.
Literally.
So what can we do? Well, the first and the easiest thing to do with trying to get your nutrition on track is just to avoid ultra processed foods. What is that? Anything that comes in a bag or a box that has a long ingredient label. That is a processed food.
Yeah.
It is not a bag of spinach. That is not a processed food. Yes, they put it in the bag, but the ingredients is still one thing: spinach or salad or whatever it is. But if you have a label with X amount of things in it, the longer the label, the worse the food, which we also talked about in the past. So try to avoid anything with an ingredient label. Try to eat whole foods, meaning how they came from the earth or somehow. And it could be fruits, veggies, meat, fish, because meat and fish and all that can also be ultra processed into forms. Look at chicken McNuggets. That is not the way that chicken was made. And you
I don't even
put
want to know
everything
what's in
down
there.
into weird pieces and add things to it, then it's not in its original form. So try to eat food as much as possible in its original form. Same thing with healthy fats like nuts and avocados and all that. We need fats too. Don't avoid it. But that's the easiest way in order to get your fuel correctly. Just skip the boxed stuff and things that you cannot. If you can't understand how they made it, if you couldn't recreate it in your own kitchen, like
Probably not good to eat it.
potato chips, the way they are. Well, you could, but then it all of a sudden it's a more of a whole food. Because if you took a potato and you cut it and then you fried it yourself, it's going to be different than the stuff you buy in the bag. So the next part of easiest way to make sure you fuel correctly is avoid eating out. Cook your own food. Because when you cook your food, I know not everyone loves cooking, and but I think a lot of people make it harder than it is. It's not that hard. You just got to practice, like with anything. But when you cook your own food, you know exactly what's in it. So, and remember too, even if we think we go to better restaurants where they, probably don't serve chicken McNuggets, still, restaurants want you to come back. So they're going to make sure the food tastes great, right? What does usually go into food to make it taste great?
Sugar,
fats,
butter,
and salts.
yes.
That's what makes it taste great. So they're not going to be as conscientious about how much fat, how much sugar, and how much salt they put in the food because they want you to come back.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. So yesterday, Marcelo wanted to make tomato soup, homemade tomato soup. That's what he called it. And he had so much fun. He goes, Mom, we don't have to buy it anymore. We can just make it.
I know.
And
isn't that great?
And I try. I don't go out to eat a lot. I'm not a big dining out. So I cook quite a bit. And I know we have Fresh Market in Vero, but they have little big meals. They have things that we haven't tried in a package to do a new meal.
Okay.
So we've tried.
So it's like one of those a Blue Apron or
Yes.
One of those things that come to your house.
Yes.
Yeah, which I think are great way for people to, because you don't need to, everything is kind of pre-cut and pre-portioned. Yes. So I think for anyone who's challenged time-wise and also challenged cooking-wise, I think those are
cooking-wise. No, I love to
start.
Cook, but it's good for them to try new things. And sometimes me just saying, "Oh, I thought of making this," they're like, But then I tell them, "Hey, I picked up a big meal from Fresh Market."
Good. That's good.
They get a little more excited.
That's a great idea. We eat out very rarely, and I never buy takeout. Personally, the kids buy sushi. I don't like sushi, and they will order pizza. Or I mean, they're kids, so they're gonna. But I personally never. I mean, it could be once in a blue moon. Yes, I'll get a Thai or an Indian, something that I don't cook as much. It's hard to get all the flavors right because you don't have the spice mixes. But no, I just never. I love to cook, so I don't mind. I don't mind the time it takes. It's kind of meditation for me. But more importantly, I just want to know what I put in my body. And the best way to do that is to make it yourself.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just my time
have to be complicated. It can be super easy and quick. The cooking does not have to be complicated. Plus, you save a lot of money.
Oh yes, especially with big
by
family.
Making it yourself. Yeah,
it would be five, 6.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
That's huge. So yes, And then thirdly, for fueling correctly, stay hydrated, we say as we both drink. Mm. So hydration, making sure you get enough water. And I think too, if you're exercising, you need electrolytes. You need to replenish some of the minerals that you do sweat out. And also, if you drink a lot of water, you're going to pee them out. So you need to stay hydrated and replenish with electrolytes if you are living in Florida and exercising, or one of the two.
Yeah.
Either or. But hydration really definitely can boost your energy. Sometimes when you're tired, and sometimes when you think you're hungry, what you are is just dehydrated. Dehydration, the camel, we think it has water, but it really has fat up there. Because being dehydrated, you hold on to fat more.
Is that what the humps are?
The hump is fat, but because then if you are hydrated, you can release fat and you get liquids from that.
Huh.
So
I fell off a camel once.
Oh. Maybe the camel was dehydrated and the hump wasn't big enough. Okay. That was fuel. Are you ready for the fourth way to boost your energy?
Yes.
Listen or live according to your circadian rhythm. What is the circadian rhythm? It is daylight and night, or going up with the sun and going to bed with the sun. So your sleep and your bedtime routine really starts the minute you wake up or in the morning. So it has been shown that if you spend some time outside when the sun comes up or right after, so first hour within you waking up, you go out into the sun, get some sunlight, daylight. It doesn't have to be sun, it can be daylight. It could be an overcast day, it doesn't matter. It could be a rainy day. As long as you get daylight, will kickstart your melatonin production, everything, so that you then, when the sun sets, try to get outside when dusk is setting, because that tells your body, ooh, I should get prepared for nighttime. So really being in tune with the circadian clock, being outside, really makes your day, you sleep better, which also, of course, will make your energy levels during the day much better. Of course, if you work shift work, so you work nighttime, this is one of the reasons why it's so tiring to work shift work. Because not just that it could be hard going to bed when everyone else is up, it is not according to circadian rhythm of your body. So you're fighting that natural instinct to be awake when it's day and to sleep when it's night. So it takes, that's why it really ages you quicker if you work shift. And it usually takes a big toll on your energy levels.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, and then we should try to eat according to the circadian rhythm too. So avoid eating after dark. So you want to eat during daylight. And also if you get up super early in the morning, try to not eat until it's light outside. That way you are getting energized when it's daylight and you're shutting down when it's dark. That's why, again, these things build on each other. They all go hand in hand. That's why we want to try to avoid eating right before bed. If we stop eating a few hours before, we're usually eating during the daylight. Now, I will say, in certain parts of the world, this is harder because, again, in Sweden, yes, it's daylight in the summer, 22 hours. But in the winter, it's the complete opposite. We have like 4 hours of daylight. So that's when you gotta fake it. So you got to use light therapy in some way.
I see.
So if you are in a region, or now when it's getting darker and you can't get um, sunlight right in the morning, or you know your bedtime is going to be way after it gets dark, you need to eat when it's dark, you can use daylight. There's special bulbs you can use in your house to boost the energy of sunlight. And there's light boxes and all these things that you can use to kind of um, synthetically promote
That's interesting.
the circadian rhythm. Yes. So something to think about when, and as an interior designer, lighting and what kind of lights we use and where and what time of the day is huge. You want to try to keep it low light and more cozy, warmer light in the evening, because that promotes more sleep. And then the blue, the kind of daylight, that's daytime, and then again, if you need to fake it, then that's what you use. Mm-hmm. All right, number 5. This is a big one, and there will be a separate episode on this subject. But it is lower your cortisol level. And cortisol is also known as the stress hormone, right? So managing your stress is super important for energy levels, because nothing can sap your energy like
stress.
A lot of stress. It can be, the adrenaline can make you super alert, but it really over time will sap your energy. So what can we do? Well, we did an episode on friendship. So if you are questioning this first one, go back. You can cut out your stressors, and some people in your life might be the biggest stress factors.
Super easy. Just come out.
Just no, but I think that was a great episode, really giving some ideas of or giving some things to pay attention to. So yes, people that stress you out, cutting down on social media scrolling, because that whole FOMO and what other people are doing stresses you out.
Or even what they're doing stresses. Yes. It's just ridiculous.
And then really setting boundaries, trying to set those boundaries to keep your stress levels low. And then another way, of course, it's practicing relaxation techniques, when we've talked about meditation, also in an earlier episode. Yeah. So you can go back to that. Or yoga, whatever calms you. Taking breaks throughout the day in your work, whatever you do, but standing up and moving around, that will calm your stress and also invigorate you. And then one of my favorites, staying organized, will lower your stress levels.
One of her favorites, one of my frustrations.
So it is shown that people that live in cluttered homes have higher cortisol levels, because a cluttered home gives a cluttered brain, gives you higher stress.
I can totally see that.
Also been proven that when you are in a cluttered home, you eat more unhealthy foods. So cluttered homes make you fat.
Go clean your house.
You're more prone to just grabbing whatever and not sitting down eating properly when it's cluttered and dirty and just things everywhere. And you see that in cars too. If you have a pristine car, you don't think about whipping out, starting eating in your car and making it all messy. But if it's already messy, who cares if there's more mess? Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So keeping it clean and organized will not only keep your stress levels down, but it will also make you healthier. You are welcome. No, but it's same thing with not just physical clutter, but it's if you're planning your day more, getting more organized from a planning standpoint, that will lower your stress levels as well.
I love it.
So being organized in both ways will reduce stress and make you uh, more energized because you can concentrate on the right things. All right, number 6, finding the purpose of the day. And it might sound silly, but we all need to find a reason why we wake up in the morning. Sometimes my purpose in life can sound so grand and like, I don't know my life purpose. Should I not get up in the morning now? It's also, but it's shown if you have someone close to you that have retired, for instance. Like I saw that with my dad. All of a sudden, his reason for waking up, no one needed him. He was a dentist. He had a very busy practice. He was always needed. He saw people every day. All of a sudden, he got depressed because now he did not have that purpose. So I think it's important to find the purpose every day in why you live. So maybe the night before, you need to think about, what is my purpose tomorrow? What am I going to do tomorrow? And it doesn't have to be grand. It could be anything from, I'm going to help someone. I mean, if you're going to work, yes. I mean, that's a purpose, definitely. But it could be small things too. Just maybe just helping someone.
Yeah.
Maybe your purpose tomorrow is to make a phone call to someone. So, but finding that reason will really make you more energized and make you get out of bed.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I had a client come in. She's like, how do you do it? And I said, never mind how I do it. I said, what am I going to do when I don't have to do all the practices and all the running around and lunch here?
Well, then you need to find other useful.
Well, I have a friend that's retired.
Yep.
And, he's going to move away. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so used to doing this.
And I think it's the same phenomenon with empty nesters.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you're like, my purpose is not being mom, or as you said, driving to practice and doing, what do I do now? And I think that's even more so if you've been a staying-at-home mom, and then all of a sudden the kids are not there, and you go, well, what is my purpose in life now? So it's important to find, and sometimes your purpose can be self-care. It could be for you. So maybe my purpose a day very shortly will be getting a facial from Ingrid.
More often.
And her purpose is making me feel great. Not to mention look great. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I think it might sound silly, but the purpose in every day, whatever it might be, is very important to make you energized and want to start the day.
I think that's a great one.
And then number 7, and this could be one of your purposes, but number 7, last little tips on how to stay energized is to stay social. And no, I'm not saying staying on social. I'm saying stay social, meaning connecting with others, which again can be the purpose of the day. But being social with your friends, your family, spending time. Sometimes your family can be the stress factor. But if it's not the stress factor, it can really boost your mood and
That's when you go.
Yeah, exactly. Again, go back to previous episode. But it really, with friends, and I've said this before, and I talked to one of my friends about it. I've really, this year, trying to prioritize my friendships, really spending quality time with friends. And I mean, it doesn't have to be, again, quality time just means spending time, making time with friends. But it definitely energizes you, unless they need to get out of your life.
Road.
And then you can also join groups and circles, or
book
could
clubs.
Exactly. It could be book club, can be join if you're wanting to start exercising, but it's hard. Well, then take group classes. because you get both the exercise and you get the social connection. Just a funny side note, since I'm a group fitness instructor, of course, I'm a bit partial in it. But so when I was in Sweden, I took a class or a couple of classes because it's fun. It was so different in how they didn't have any of the socializing portions.
Really?
Because in my classes, people get there early, they chat up a storm, they stay late, we chat. It's a whole social thing. And sometimes they gather outside of the, in the locker rooms or in the parking lot. No, I guess Swedish people don't do that. So I'm Swedish, but I guess I'm American then. No, I went in there, said hi to people. They looked at me like I was an idiot. They came in, got their little station, left right away. No one said anything to each other.
But have you always been like you are now?
I don't know. Maybe not. I can't remember that. But to me, the whole social aspect of taking a class was completely missed. Oh, that was my stomach. It was a missed opportunity because it was just kind of like, I will say, and we've talked about that. When I do weightlifting, I like to do it by myself in the gym. I don't like to chat to people. I don't even have earphones on because I just kind of want to be in the moment with myself. But a group class is like then you get that social. I love that.
I wear headphones. It's the fact people talk to me, they stop, and I'm like,
oh, no one talks to me.
Like, what are you doing? No. And then I have to take off my headphones. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, hi. I'm like,
oh, yeah. No,
I'm like, if I have headphones,
yeah, no,
possibly.
I hear you.
Because I only get an hour, if that, squeezed in. So I'm like, please.
And also like to concentrate. When I lift heavy, I need to concentrate.
Yeah.
So
you don't have music
chatting
on?
away. No, not when I do weightlifting. No.
But okay, so well, for me, all the noise bothers me.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't. So. I like to hear the noise so that I can hear if something's happening. And no, I really like to just be in the moment and making sure nothing pops or cracks.
I usually have music, and in between my sets, I dance a little, and then I continue.
No, I like to just, Anyway, but yes, the joining a group, a book club, networking group, whatever it is.
Just because club.
Just because club. I like that. We should start a just because club.
Yeah, why not? That's something else we can do, right?
Yeah. So yeah, how do you feel about those 7 ways of boosting your energy? Let's just do a quick recap. So prioritizing sleep is number 1. Number 2, exercise consistently. Number 3, fuel correctly. Number 4, follow your circadian rhythm. Number 5, lower your stress levels or cortisol levels. Number 6, find your purpose of the day. And number 7, stay social.
I love it.
And then again, if you're doing all these things and your energy levels are still low, of course you need to, go to see your doctor, and maybe you're deficient in something. Maybe like me, I needed hormone replacement, because shout out to progesterone to make you sleep like a baby. I'm just saying, I needed that. So yes, of course, there might be medications or supplements that can help you getting your energy levels up. But I think try the natural stuff first, and then if it still doesn't work, then you can.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how much hormones you have fixed if you're just still not sleeping and still eating bad. It's
exactly. Lifestyle is always the first and most important mention. All right. Well, we're staying hydrated again, and until next time,
cheers.
Cheers. Like the Energizer Bunny. Let's just keep going. Bye-bye.